Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your old mate Beatle Dave calling to you from Derby in the UK. Lovely day here today. The sun's out. It's like a proper summer's day. Just bear with 1 sec. Just get me a drink. Right, let me squash. Right, today's a very special video. A subscriber stroke fellow YouTuber has sold me a Beatles collection. It's the Vinyl Vault, so please check out his channel. Fantastic channel. He finds some wonderful records. I don't know where he goes to car boots and stuff, and he's always finding amazing things. He's found first pressing Led Zeppelins and all sorts. So he texted me in the week. Well, actually, he did a video on these records first, and then he sent me a message saying, Dave, do you want them? So we agreed a price that was fair to him and was fair to me. So I'm very happy, and obviously I'm not going to say no if somebody says, do you want some Beatles records? Beatle Dave, you know. And like I said in one of my other videos, maybe one day I could have the biggest Beatles record collection in the UK. Maybe. I don't think I ever will, but maybe. So he did say that some of these records are better than others, and for what I paid for them, to be honest, I'm not bothered. They did come yesterday. I did have a quick look, but I haven't gone into any detail as such. Basically, just looked to see that it was okay. So the deal's been done. These records are now mine, and he did kindly. Oh, he says, send them in a big case again. Now, if you remember, or if you're a follower of the channel, you know that the Vinyl Vault and myself did a deal round about Christmas time, last Christmas, and that was basically complete Beatles collection from Please Please Me up to Let It Be. A few other things in it. This is more, there is some nice things in here. So I'm going to start off with a Beatle Dave's Twist and Shout Out, and there's only going to be two today. So the first twist and shout out goes to the Vinyl Vault. Please check out his channel. Honestly, please check out his channel. I think he's on about 1,500 subscribers at the minute, but let's see if we can get him some more. If you go onto his channel, you will want to subscribe, because he's like I say, he finds some amazing things, and he's quite witty with it as well. And the next Beatle Dave's Twist and Shout Out. So here's your twist, and your shout out goes to everybody that is subscribing to the channel. Very simple today. I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can, but I do want to go into a little bit of detail, because I do want to give these albums justice, if that makes sense. Some of them are worth less than others. What's a Beatles record worth? At the end of the day, it's worth what somebody wants to pay for it. Some of them are more common than others, but there's some foreign pressings and some interesting things in it, and there's multiple copies of certain albums as well, so we'll be looking at them to see the difference as well. So if you're sitting comfortably even, please join me as we look at these wonderful and fantastic records, well, this record collection that I've got off a fellow YouTuber stroke subscriber, the Vinyl Vault. Thank you very much, by the way, the Vinyl Vault. So we'll start off with John Lennon, Shaved Fish Collectible Lennon. Well, it's John Lennon, the Plastic Ono Band. You do come across these quite often. They're not the most valuable Beatles record or solo Beatles record in the world, but to be fair, this is a very, very underrated compilation album. You've got all the hits up to 1975 on this, basically. So this was like John's goodbye before he went into retirement, wasn't it? Although we didn't know that at the time. So that is the track listing on the back. This cover is actually in quite nice condition. I will admit it was split, and I've managed to glue it this morning. And you do get the original inner sleeve with it, with all the words to the songs, and it is on the Apple label. I think later copies in America, you got this on Capital, didn't you? And to be fair, looking at this, although I must admit I haven't played it, that looks pretty nice condition, to be honest. That looks like it just needs a wipe over. So, yeah, the record is probably slightly better than the cover. Yeah, love it. Like I say, very, very underrated album in a lot of ways. Some people don't like compilation albums, do they? Other people love them. I quite like this one. In all honesty, this album, the John Lennon Shaved Fish album, was one of the first John Lennon albums I ever bought. In 1981, I think it was. Yeah, but I think this is an original pressing as well. But yeah, very happy to have that. Right there. I'm enjoying it so far, folks. Then there's this one, Hard Day's Night. Mono. So it's an early 1960s pressing. It's PMC 1230, and it's in a Gerald and Lofthouse Limited Pattings pending sleeve. Overall, this cover is in really, really nice condition. To be fair, no splits or anything. It has darkened a little bit on the back, but I think that's because all this was laminated, but that bit there wasn't. And I think, yeah, this is in the original Emitech sleeve or inner sleeve. So what's the condition of this one like? Of course, this has just recently celebrated its 60th birthday, hasn't it? A Hard Day's Night, the UK album anyway. Yeah, that's quite, to be fair, that's not in too bad a condition at all. This was the only album that was ever produced during the Beatles' creative lifetime, i.e. 1962 to 1970, where every song on this album was written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Before that, you had cover versions, and after it, you always had George Harrison song, or a couple of songs, or a Ringo Starr song. Fantastic album, actually. If you want to know what the track listing is on this, if you don't live in the UK, I'll just hold that there. If you haven't got this album, it is really worth trying to get a copy of it. Original mono, if you can, it will sound better. If you get every issue, it doesn't matter. It's the Beatles sort of a peak, not the proper peak, but you can sort of like tell this is a different Beatles from Please Please Me, put like that. But it evolved so much in like a year and a half. And it's quite a good film as well. So yeah, pleased to have that. I will apologise if this video goes on for a long time, but I do want to try and do justice to these records that the Vinyl Vault has gratefully given me. Then we've got a copy of Paul's first debut LP, McCartney. Again, this isn't in too bad a condition. Bit gone there on the seam. An Apple record, an EMI recording, printed and made in England, it says there. Later copies say MPL, don't they? Even though they can still be on the Apple label. This isn't the original sleeve though. This is a Decca. So this would be something like the Rolling Stones records, or even Small Faces records would be in. Again, I think, just looking at that, I think this is an original UK first pressing. It certainly feels like it in weight on the gorgeous Apple label. Oh, and the catalogue number for this is PCS7102. Manufactured in the UK. I thought I'd put the green Sergeant Pepper jacket on today. I'm thinking of getting a couple more Sergeant Pepper jackets. If you want to leave it, leave me a comment saying, yeah, you think I should, so that we've got a green one, a blue one, a red one, and I think it's a pink one, isn't it, that Ringo used to wear, or Ringo did wear. It is a gatefold, by the way, this. Again, some people say this is the best album Paul McCartney's ever made. Others say it isn't. other people will prefer Ram over it. To me, the McCartney album just sounds like most of the tracks could have been on Beatles albums, and I mean that as praise, not as a criticism. I think a lot of that would have been suitable to go on to a Beatles album if the Beatles would have carried on going. Then we've got Wings at the Speed of Sound. Not everybody's favourite Wings album, is it, this? I've always quite liked this, though. And this, to be fair, is in really nice condition. Does it have the inner sleeve with it? Yep. Comes with the original inner sleeve. Again, this was really sort of like Venus and Mars, and this album were Wings at probably the peak of their hype, wasn't it? You know, doing world tours and everything else. So, get it right. That is side one. And then that is side two. Of course, you had two massive hits on this, didn't you? You had Silly Love Songs, and then you had Let 'Em In. Someone's knocking at the door. And to be fair, the Vinyl Vault, don't know where you're getting your records from, but this one looks like it's never been played. Again, it's not the most valuable Beatles related album in the world, but I'll be honest with you, mate, that's probably in better condition than any I've actually got at the minute. So thank you. Yeah. Some people say the word of silly love songs. What's wrong with that? I need to know. So here I go again. Then we've got this one. The Beatles 20 Greatest Hits. There was a few different versions of this under the same name around the world at the same time. And depending on where you lived, you got slightly different content. This is the British one. So this basically concentrates on the songs that got to number one in the UK, apart from Love Me Do, which didn't get to number one, it got to number 17. So it starts off with Love Me Do. You don't get Please Please Me. So it's Love Me Do, For Me to You, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Can't Buy Me Love, A Hard Day's Night, I Feel Fine, Ticket to Ride, Help, Day Tripper, We Can Work It Out, Side 2 is Paperback Writer, Yellow Submarine, Eleanor Rigby, All You Need Is Love, so don't get Strawberry Fields or Penny Lane on this. Hello, Goodbye, Lady Madonna, Hey Jude, Get Back, and The Ballad of John and Yoko. Now, when this was released in 1982, I seem to remember this had like a little TV campaign. A lot of fans bought it, and then a lot of fans said they didn't like it. A lot of the criticism was over the cover. And I've said before, they gave you this lovely inner sleeve with it. So why wasn't this the main cover? I would, I think that would have made a better cover. And you'd be surprised how much some of these go for now, because a lot of fans didn't like this album. A lot of people did buy it, but you try and find one in nice condition on eBay and other selling sites now, and you'd be surprised to get it for less than £15. And again, this one, yeah, it needs a wipe over. It looks like this has never ever been played. Now, the Vinyl Vault in his video, which please check out, did say that he bought this as part of a collection, and he thought that the chap that was selling it was a big Beatles fan, because there was quite a bit of Beatles stuff in it, and then there was other things in it as well. So I think the chap didn't want to just let certain things go, so he says if you want it, you've got to buy the whole lot, hence why I got the Beatles stuff. And I would say that's probably true, because this is an immaculate condition. Really is an immaculate condition. The catalogue number, for those who like to know them sort of things, is PCTC 260. Manufactured in the UK by EMI Records Limited on a 2-box EMI Parlophone label. Nice. It is nice. When you did your video, The Vinyl Vault, I think that was in a copy of Sergeant Pepper, wasn't it? And you couldn't understand where it had come from, but it does actually belong with this 20 Greatest Hits LP. Again, lovely copy, mate. Very, very happy. So far, mate, I am over the moon with these. I really am. And it's nice that you always think of me when you get some records. You did say on your video that we've got sort of like a gentleman's agreement now, haven't we? And I was quite honoured when you said that. I really was honoured. If ever there's any records you see me doing and you want, mate, just tell me. Okay. Next we've got Abbey Road. Beatles masterpiece in a lot of ways, isn't it? If you watch the one I did the other day on that singles box set there, when we did the Something Come Together picture sleeve, it was actually the wrong way around, wasn't it? Because there's walking this way, wasn't this and that way. I think this could be an early pressing. I don't think it's a first pressing. I think it's a second pressing, and I'll tell you why. Because the apple is there on first pressings, it's slightly to one side. Doesn't matter about the other sleeve. Again, this is in really nice condition, and you can tell by the weight and the smell. Believe it or not, vintage vinyl has got a smell that you can't fake. You can't fake that smell. So this is side one, and then on side two, you do get the credit for. It says the N stroke Her Majesty. PCS 7088. I don't think this is going to pick up that, is it? Oh, it has. Fantastic album. Again, if you're just getting into the Beatles, or you're just starting your record collection and you're thinking what sort of, I want to get a couple of Beatles albums, which one should I get? You want to try and check this one out. Is it as good as Sergeant Pepper? I'd say so. It's just got a slight split in the seam there. Apart from that, that's in very, very good condition. And again, you get original ones of these on certain selling sites, and you're talking stupid money. But like I've always said, these people on eBay, well, some of the people on eBay, they might put it up and they think, and they'll say, oh, it's an original, please me, and you look at it and it's a 2-box silver and black EMI parlophone label. So buyer beware. That's all I'll say. At the end of the day, a record is only worth as much as what somebody's prepared to pay for it. It's like anything in life. You could have a Rolls Royce car and you could think, oh, it's worth £50,000, but if you had to sell it, you might only get 20 for it, or 10 even. Right, now we're coming to the good stuff. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This album needs no introduction whatsoever, does it? This has got a slight, I don't know what that is. I don't know if I could get that off or not. Looks like something's been stuck on it. Is this the This is a stereo pressing, and I think this is a later copy from the 70s because it hasn't got a flip back sleeve there. Do we get any goodies in with it? What does that say there? Some sort of writing there. J. Tammy for Grasmere Road. Whoever J. Tammy was. Yeah, this is a later pressing on the two boxed EMI silver and black. Parlophone. But it still says made in Great Britain there. and not manufactured in the UK. So, and you've still got the gramophone coat instead of EMI records. So I would say this is from around 1972, 1973. It's not bad condition though. A few marks on it, but that's not too bad actually. That was feelable scratch. No, that's okay. That one should clean up okay. So what's better than you guys out there? Is that album better than that album, or is it the other way around? Is that one better than that one? I'm not going to tell you what I think. If you watch some of my videos, I think you'll know anyway. Then we've got another copy of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This one, the cover's in quite nice condition, although it is just starting to go on the spine. But this is a mono one. Yeah, so this is gatefold with the flip back there. You can see the flip back. And we do get the cutouts. I wonder how many people actually bothered cutting these out or just stuck it on the wall or just left it in the sleeve. So this is mono. This is possibly a first pressing because it's got the sold in the UK subject to resale price conditions. See price list across the top. Lovely though, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite. That's not in bad condition, to be honest. Not in too bad a condition. Needs a good clean, as most of these I think will. But so far, I haven't seen anything that I'll think, you know, I don't really want that or anything. So yeah, these are quite hard to come by as well. You can get reproductions of these. I think it's a chap in Italy. But for what you pay for it, you're probably going to pay more than what the album's worth. Then there's this one. This one is a bit of a curio. This cover looks like it's 3D. When you look at that one and compare it to that one, it just looks, I don't know if it's because it's a later pressing or something, but it just looks fuzzy. It looks out of focus. And it's not the same sort of colour. It looks a lot duller. And for saying it's a later copy, it's not laminated. So that means it's probably a foreign pressing. And I know it is because I've looked. So it's an EMI parlophone. Yeah. And again, you get card sleeve or cutouts. See, that one's lighter. The original one's a dark green. That one and that other one is darker green than that. And you've got, this is actually quite nice. This is an Italian pressing reissue. That's actually blue. It's like a light blue. So the number is 3C064-04177. And then it's like you said, there's like a stamp there that looks like it's been put on by hand, and then there's a thing here and it says SIAE. Now I think that's something to do with like the Performing Arts Society, or their equivalent to the Performing Arts Society. I did actually write it down because there's certain things from certain countries. SIAE is Italy. It's like their code for their, so that the people get the royalties basically. I wrote it all down on there, to be honest, which you might have to use in a bit. But yeah, but this is on, for saying this is a reissue from the, I'd say this is from the mid to late 70s, maybe even into early 80s. It's on a one box EMI parlophone. Nice though. Again, doesn't look like that's had much play. And it does look pretty flat. I'm happy with that one, mate. You know me, anything slightly different. Put that in there. Right, there's about 30 albums in here. So I'm just going to do one big video. I'll just do one great big video. If you want to forward it or stop it and things like that, then it's entirely up to you folks. Then we've got this one, the Beatles, 1967 to 1970. Now, when you showed this in your video, I noticed this has got a barcode on it. So that must mean that this is from the late 80s, early 90s. And it's strange because this has got like a purple lyric sheet. I've never ever seen one of these with a purple lyric sheet. But yet the other one is blue. And it's on a standard Apple label. I.e. on the other ones, the red album would be an apple on a red background and the blue album would be an apple on a blue background. And all the words on the outer edge all go around the complete label, the copyright and all that lot. And it is a very, very thin vinyl. So I'd say this is late 80s, early 90s. But having said that, there's a curiosity factor for me on this because this is the first time I've ever seen this on a black background, the apple on the black background on this album. I thought it could actually be an Irish copy, but it's not because it says manufactured in the UK, an Apple record. So this is one that's sort of like a very, very strange pressing, but I think it is a late 80s, early 90s copy. It's probably the early 90s one, to be honest. If I can get that back in there. But I'll show you the other one because that's that one, and then that one is in a standard blue. Can you see the difference now? That's like a purple, and that is like a really, really light blue. Again, they're not usually as light as that, and again, that is on the black background on the apple, which is just really, really weird. I mean, I did have a white album years ago, and the wording was like that, all joined up. So yeah, I've got something here that I've never ever seen before. Other people might say, Dave, it's as common as anything, but you know, there was a time, you know, in the 80s and 90s where I didn't buy records sometimes, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that is a strange one, but strange in a good way. Yeah, might have to do a bit more research on this one, mate. Somebody did sent me a message, I think it was yesterday, and they'd bought a reissue of a certain Beatles record, but it was classed as mono, but played in stereo all the other way around. He goes, what would you do with it? And I just said, keep it because it's a curio. And he goes, yeah, but reissues aren't worth anything, are they? And I goes, sometimes they can be. Yeah, very, very, very happy to have that in the collection. Then we've got, what's this one? That is just a normal standard UK copy from the late 70s. Nice though, that is in really, really nice condition. I'm just going to try and speed it up a bit so that we can get to some of the other interesting things. This is a strange one. This isn't what it seems. See what I mean about the colour? I'll only show you one of these to try and speed the video up, folks. This is made in Holland. So it's classed as a Dutch pressing, isn't it? And on here it says Northern Songs Strimmer, Stemmer, Stemra. And again, that is a very, very lightweight vinyl. So I presume that would be from probably the late 80s, mid to late 80s. Nice condition, though. A lot of these are in nice condition, to be honest. And then that is the other one. I won't get it out because, but they are. I mean, look how dark blue those two are, and then that one is a light blue. You see the difference in the colours? Yeah. So, and obviously that one's got a barcode. That makes me sound dead geeky, doesn't it? Then we've got the John Lennon collection. These are quite common. It has got the original inner sleeve, and I know this is in nice condition because I looked at this yesterday. Again, this looks like this has never been played. Again, if you're getting into John Lennon or you're just getting into the solo Beatles, but you don't want to spend a fortune, check out compilations like this. You can get the John Lennon collection, you can get the Red and the Blue albums, you get Wings Greatest, Ringo's Blast from the Past, and the Best of George Harrison, and you've got a nice little collection, nice little starter collection. Then we've got John Lennon, Yoko, Oh No Double Fancy. I do love this album, and I have grown to appreciate Yoko's contributions over the years, but sometimes this is still a hard album to listen to because of what happened to John just after it was released. And again, this is in really, really nice condition. Really is in nice condition, actually. That just looks like a brand new record. Very underrated in some ways, this album. But yeah, fantastic album, but sometimes a bit emotional to listen to. Or is that just me being soppy in my old age? Then we've got a copy of Revolver, mono copy. PMC 7002, also available in stereo. Gerald and Lofthouse Pattings pendant cover. This is actually in quite nice condition, mate, to be honest. These usually go around there, don't they? But this is in pretty decent condition. Fantastic. Track for track, I think this is probably one of the strongest LPs the Beatles ever made. You get the sold in the UK text above the spindle hole. PMC 7009. And I thought for a minute, no, it's a 2. So it's a stroke 2, stroke 2. So that means this is an early pressing. Technically, it is still a first pressing, but there was a first pressing that was only out for a day, which on side 2 finishes in a stroke 1, and that has got the alternate version of Tomorrow Never Knows on it. And when you hear it, you can hardly tell the difference, to be honest. But that can make the difference between having a £30 album or a £130 album. And I have got one somewhere. Paul McCartney Pipes of Peace. This is a standard UK copy. Again, quite overlooked in a lot of ways, but it was very, very overplayed, wasn't it? You got the big hits, Pipes of Peace and Say, 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 The Other Me. So Bad. The Man, Sweetest Little Show, Average Person, Hey Hey, Tug of Peace, and Through Our Love. Of course, this featured Michael Jackson on a couple of tracks. Quite a common album, but that is in really, really nice condition as well. Now we've got 5 copies of the Red album. And I do mean it, we have got 5 copies of it. And I think most of these are just about all the same. That one has the all titles produced by George Martin. Some do and some don't, and depending on what books or sites you go on, depends on which one's worth more. I don't think it makes any difference, to be honest. This is a UK copy, and I would say that this is probably a first or second pressing, just from the weight of the vinyl. I won't show every one of these, I'll go through them as quick as I can, but I do know, I think one of these is a bit strange as well. So that's UK copy. And that was bought at WH Smith's for £9.25, I think it says on there. Then we've got this one. See, the cover on this isn't as good. The seam's gone. Again, that has the George Martin production credits. That one might actually be a slightly later copy. It might be from the mid-70s. You do get the inner sleeves, although these aren't as good as the other ones. Not a criticism, mate. Again, manufactured in the UK. And for saying how grubby the cover is, that's your record's in nice condition. So, it might be like what you were saying, the Vinyl Vault, that the chap you bought these records off probably was just upgrading when he saw a better copy, he just bought it, a bit like what I do, sort of. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing here that is absolutely trashed. There's nothing here that I wouldn't clean and play. There's nothing here that I'd say was rubbish. Right, this is a different one, sort of. This is one from a foreign country, folks, but you still get the very, very small writing, George Martin production credit, and I think, if I remember rightly, you don't get the inner sleeves with the words on. And this is an Italian pressing. Quite a couple of Italian ones in this, isn't there? And them, they're razor sharp. The edges of this is razor sharp. You could do some bloody damage with this. And the font is different, isn't it? And there we get the little stamp thing. You see it better on there, look. That little stamp. I've been put on with the rubber stamp, and you still get the SIAE. Got a few marks on it. I'm sure that will clean up nicely. Does it mean it's worth more if it's from a different country? Not necessarily. I just like getting Beatles records from around the world now, so I can compare the sound quality. And it is, although it's not in that case, if they're on a different label, it's nice to see them on a different label. And that's not a laminated sleeve like the rest of them are. Then we've got this one, lovely shine. See, tell the shine on that to that. See how shiny that is. Laminated sleeve, which just means basically it's got a very, very thin layer of plastic over the cover. That one hasn't got George Martin production credit. That's blank, but I think that is just a UK copy, and I think that was the one that was a first pressing as well. So that is in really, really nice condition. I think there's 5 copies of this. Then we've got this one, which again has got a fully laminated outer sleeve, but they're not laminated inner sleeves, and this one has got the credit for George Martin just there. Does this one have the sleeves and everything with it as well? Oh yeah, this was the one that hasn't got any. This one hasn't got the any sleeves, but it is a UK press. But I would say, judging that, can you see how light that red is to the other ones? I'd say that's a late copy from about the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, how flimsy the record is. I'm not doing the record any harm by doing that, by the way. Aren't they lovely? Isn't it nice when one of your subscribers thinks of you and says, Dave, I've got some records, you want to buy them? Yeah, and both of those haven't got any sleeves. That is the other one. But in all fairness, that's not in too bad a condition. Got some sticker stuck there, which I should be able to get off. And the seam on that's okay as well. I'm just going to say this once again. Vinyl Vault, thank you very much. I love you. And I do mean that. And people, please check out his channel. Then we've got this one, Let It Be. Red apple on the back. In the UK, the red apple usually indicates its first pressing and was originally in the Let It Be box set from 1970. But you could get the green apple in them as well, which is quite confusing. And you could also get these in certain shops with a red apple on them. I don't know if that's the same in every country. This is made in Italy. I think it's still on apple though, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, crikey. That is one heavy record. Again, you get the SIAE. You see what I mean about the copyright around the thing, where there's a gap there and a gap there, and then on that other one, it went all the way around. I'd say, judging by the weight of this has got to be an Italian first pressing. This can't be far off 180 gram. And you do get the remnants of the like hand stamp thing just there. I don't think you're going to see it. Wow, that surprised me how heavy that is. That's the same weight as a 1960s UK Beatles LP. And they're quite heavy, aren't they? Wow. Yeah, but there again, see that in the UK that would have had a laminated cover where this hasn't. Just little things like that. But then again, that does make me sound like I am a record geek, which I suppose I am. A mono copy of Help. So we've had a Hard Day's Night earlier on, so now we've got Help, which was the second Beatles film. Again, this is in a Gerald and Lofthouse Limited patterns pending sleeve. That's the songs, in case you don't know what they are. Apparently that doesn't spell help, does it? I think, yeah, you've got the original inner Emmy text in the sleeve. And you've got a very, very faint KT tax code just there. You can just see it, can't you? I'd say this is a second pressing though. And then you still get them made in Great Britain there and sold in the UK there. This is actually in quite nice condition. The Gramophone Co. around the rim. Very early copies of this would still say the Parlophone Co. I don't mean there, I mean around here. It says the Gramophone Co. Where earlier albums would say the Parlophone Co. Nice though, isn't it? That's not too bad a condition actually. Looks pretty flat. And you get your flip backs as well. See, laminated, non-laminated. Then we've got Beatles for Sale. Now this is in really, really nice condition, but I've got a feeling this is a later copy because the colours just don't look as good as what they would on an original. Stereo, PCS 3062. gatefold, but your record comes from there. That's actually in quite nice condition, that cover. There's some writing on there, I don't know what that means. But polylined anti-static sleeve. Yeah. Silver and black parlophone 2-boxed EMI. Again, I'd say that's possibly a mid to late 80s pressing, because there was no barcode on it, was there? So yeah, but these are, the sound quality on these are usually okay. To be honest, I've never really heard a bad UK pressing of a Beatles album. Okay, some can be slightly better than others. The ones to look out for are the ones that are HTM cut, and it'll be on the outer groove, in the groove where your label ends. If it says HTM, that means Harry T. Moss, who was a top recording engineer at EMI for many years. Excuse me. Then we've got the Beatles rock and roll music. Again, this is a Dutch copy, so it's made in Holland, just says there. Again, in the UK, this would have had a laminated sleeve, where this hasn't. This is quite an underrated album in a lot of ways. A lot of fans didn't like this. This says, oh, it was EMI cashing in after the contract with the Beatles had run out in 1976. Well, to a certain extent, yeah, it was, but there's still nice compilations. And this is on a completely different parlophone label to what would be in the UK. It looks more like a parlophone label from the 60s, doesn't it? I'll just show you one. Nice selection of songs on here, to be honest. Like I say, very, very underrated in a lot of ways. What's that one say on there? Stemra, 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 which is the Netherlands, according to that. Yeah, so I mean, these are worth checking out. But again, be careful where you're getting them from, because some sellers will want £50 or £60 for one of these. They are what they are. Then we've got the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. This is a French pressing. You thought it might have been an Italian one, didn't you, when you was looking at it on your video? Do you know how I know it's a French pressing? Because it says parlophone and then Patty Marconi there. But it is virtually identical to the label in the UK. Because you thought the label was a bit weird, didn't you? But this is how it was released in the UK. And on there you do get a SACEM thing, which is SACEM. Scam. Again, lovely album. If you want to sort of hear what the Beatles sounded like playing live, technically this is the only official live album, isn't it? Although Ron Howard did do a slightly different version of this, didn't he, for his 8 Days a Week film. A couple of bonus tracks on it, and that was the original in sleeve. And, you know, these are worth checking out, these albums. Then we've got Love Songs, which are just UK bog standard copies. Again, a lovely selection of tracks. A lot of these tracks did end up being sort of like redone and put out as the Beatles ballads. They are both exactly the same, and they've both got quite a bit of ringwear to them, to be honest. But again, if you haven't got these albums, they are quite nice, you know, more the sort of love songs, ballads and things like that. You got Yesterday, I'll Follow the Sun, I Need You, Girl, In My Life, Words of Love. Here, There, Everywhere, Something, And I Love Her, If I Fell, I'll Be Back, Tell Me What You See, Yes It Is. You've got Michelle, It's Only Love, You've Got to Hide Your, You're Going to Lose That Girl, sorry. Every Little Thing, For No One, fantastic song. She's Leaving Home, and then side 4 is The Long and Winding Road, This Boy, Norwegian Wood, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, I Will from the White Album, and P.S. I Love You. So there's like a career retrospective of songs on that. Again, if you haven't got these albums and you see them cheap at a car boot or something like that, just get them. Yeah, they're not worth a great deal in a lot of ways, but they are nice to have in your collection. And then finally, Revolver stereo, original UK cover, but no record in it. Now, I'm actually glad that you sent me this, the Vinyl Vault, because a couple of years ago I got a job lot of records. Not just records, of records, books and everything. And it came in a massive box. And there's a lot of South African records in that hadn't got sleeves. Some did, but a lot of them didn't. And one of them is Revolver, so I can use this. Or I could just put up on the wall, couldn't I? So that's it. That's the records. Like I say, we did have a gentleman's agreement. We decided the price that we was both happy with. I am absolutely flabbergasted with them. That means I'm over the moon, by the way. I'm not talking gobbledygook. Well, I am, I suppose, but it just means I'm really, really happy with those. There's nothing there that I would say needs chucking away or anything like that. Everything there is good. Yes, most of them will need a clean, so you know what Beatle Dave's going to be doing on his next day off. He's going to be cleaning records for probably 2 days. But it's worth it. Do people like compilation albums? Some people do, some people don't. I don't mind them. Honestly, do not mind compilation albums. Yeah, I'm very, very happy to have received these. So once again, if you haven't checked out the Vinyl Vault, but make sure it's the UK one, because I think there's another one of a similar name in America. The Vinyl Vault, you'll know it says, because if you look at his logo, it's like a record, and it just says the Vinyl Vault on it. You know, check his videos out. He has found some amazing records, and I don't think he's been doing it that long. I think he's only been doing it about a year, and some of the things that he's found I could only ever wish of finding. Like I say, he's found first pressings of Led Zeppelin and all sorts. David Bowie EP thing that I didn't even know existed. Yeah, so you know, you've got to check out some of these other channels. So, and there's that does look weird. That bit, when you look at that close up, it does look weird. It does look like it's in 3D. I don't think it is. I think it's just the way it's been printed. So once again, thank you, Vinyl Vault. I'm very, very happy with these records. I'm so glad that you thought about me when you got them. I am intrigued to see what the other records are like that was in this collection, though, as well, to see what other goodies you found. So I'm looking forward to that. I suppose you will be doing a video on that. So yeah, guys, check out the Vinyl Vault. Leave them a like, leave them a comment, and above all, subscribe. Subscription is free. If you've got to the end of this video, I did say it might be a long video, and it has been a long video. You know, and you're not subscribed, just think about subscribing. Like I say, it is free. We have just hit 14,000 subscribers. 14,000 subscribers. You know, 14,000 people like what I'm doing, and that is quite an amazing feeling, you know. But I'm not going to carry on talking a load of rubbish. I'll just like again say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to this channel, has left me comments and left me likes over the, I think it's about 3 years now I've been doing this channel. You all mean the world to me. A splendid time is guaranteed for all, so I hope you have enjoyed that. It's just a little bit of fun at the end of the day. You know, there's some records there that I didn't even know existed. See, even I'm learning after 40 odd years of collecting records and Beatles records, I'm still learning things daily in some respects. And once again, thank you to the Vinyl Vault, and please check out his channel. He's a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. You know, he has given me quite a few things over the last year or so. I mean, some he's given me and some I've bought off him. You know, and it's always a pleasure doing business with him. And you know, just check out his channel. I am sure you will love it. So until the next time, remember, you are the Beatler Dave, and without you, this channel wouldn't be half as good as it is. So I love you all, and I do mean that. So love, peace, and happiness to you all, and I will see you very, very soon. Till then, take care, buddy. Love and peace. Love and peace. Bye bye.